The winged victory came to the Louvre in pieces, and people still line up to see her. And I can only hope that despite my flaws, and despite my cracks and my breaks, and there are many of them, that at every premiere and everything I do, people will wait in line to see.
Now, it's only been a few years since we got peak narcissism out of Rachel Zegler. I don't want this girl to fail, but come on, when you put things out like this and wish half the country to never know peace, you kind of get what you deserve.
I mean, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird. Super weird. So we didn't do that this time.
As of March 31st, it hasn't even made $145 million. I don't think it's going to make it past 200. This means it's going to lose Disney at least $300 million. Add that to the colossal failure of Captain Falcon, and Disney's in the hole for at least $500 million, and the year just started. Oh, Rachel. This failure is the story of a young girl who fell ass backwards into fame when Steven Spielberg discovered her and cast her in the unholy bomb of a film, West Side Story. The story itself was plagued with problems and was critically panned at the box office. Despite the failure, she was miscast in what should have been the biggest Disney movie ever. It was, after all, the one that started it all for the House of Mouse. Its success was more of a sure thing than Sydney Sweeney at a wet t-shirt contest. It had it all: a big budget, a cult following, and the supposed talent of one of the most identifiable corporations in the world. What could go wrong? Rachel Zegler, that's what. To be fair, it wasn't all her fault. It was the 2020s, and the studio couldn't very well portray a woman with feminine qualities. It needed a proper girl boss who would not be looking for true love. Rather, she was a warrior that bossed dwarfs around and saved the prince. Actually, the prince was demoted to a thief, because of course he was. He was the leader of some DEI band of Starbucks employees called the Bandits. The BBC even went so far as to say this has to be the closest a Disney princess film has gotten to paraphrasing the Communist Manifesto. Yeah, the BBC actually wrote that. The original is a story of a young girl who has lost her way in the world and finds a group of hardworking, stable male archetypes, the dwarfs. She endears herself to them by helping to work for her lodging, and in doing so evolves as a person. When she's tricked into accepting the apple from the witch, she's saved by true love's kiss, symbolizing her transformation into adulthood. The film ends with a friend Snow White maid, the dwarfs, defeating the witch. This shows us the importance of cultivating friendships that will help us later in life when we're in danger. What Disney did is inexcusable. It took a story that may have existed for hundreds, if not thousands of years, and was passed on through generations, and took all the meaning out of it, in exchange for what the studio believed to be the prevailing fad of third-wave feminism, a desire to push identity politics and espouse the virtues of Marxism. In the end, Rachel Zegler was a young, naive girl that was made to feel that she was something that she wasn't. They empowered her to push a message, and she ran with it. But I think, as with most young people drunk on power, she didn't know how to control it, and that ended up tanking the modern Snow White experiment. Well, let me know what you think, if you're gonna watch it, if you're already wasted your money, and as always, keep watching movies.